What's up, bro? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Another shady mission. Tricks. Like watching pictures in hazy vision. Tonight is love making. Take you any place you wish. Today we satisfied. Yesterday was stolen kisses. Blind insanity. Perfect pictures of me and my family. Not understanding the death that they plan for me. If I have kids, will I let her see them grow? Though I don't know, I live a life of a thug. Till the day I go, no broken promises. A sacred bond broken. I know I die alone, but yet still I'm hoping. Visions of prisons, maybe I'll be forgiven. Now I know it's better in heaven, cause being here ain't living. Close my eyes and see nothing but pain.
Hello, welcome back to Drawn to Me. I have a different subject for you all. Okay, so it's to talk about patience. Talk about patience. All right. Talk on patience. I know you know this. Patience is about waiting. You know, the waiting process, it can be very difficult, especially if you haven't learned how to have patience. Now, patience is basically like a skill. You know, to be skilled at something, you have to practice it. For some people, things may come to them naturally, of course, but some things you have to put your practice in. And that's a good thing. It's okay to do that, of course. Now, with patience, everybody says until it's their turn, they tell you patience. But when it's their turn to wait, guess what? They don't want to wait. So I realize even on my part as a person who talks about telling people how to have patience, it's a practice skill. And it's easy to say to them, but it's difficult to just try to pick it up right away, especially if you've been in very difficult situations. And so that's what it is. If you've been in very difficult situations, then you understand that patience is not such a good word to you. Okay? Now, some people are very sincere when saying be patient, while others, they don't have a clue on what it is like to be patient. All people need patience. Now, this is my belief. All people need patience. Even your pets need patience. Okay? But why do people want to rush? This is a question they want to say. Why do you want to rush? Okay? It's obvious, and I want to get into talking about that because it's very obvious of why people want to rush. I do have an example though. If you understand or you heard me say it before about the plants and how they grow, once you put a seed in, you have to be patient. You have to be patient because it's not going to just grow and change overnight. Once you put that seed in, okay? Now, as far as like a tree, a tree may take longer to actually grow. I've never sat and watched a tree grow. I've never planted a tree to try to get it to grow. So I don't know how you do that. But I'm sure that a tree would take longer. This is what I feel. Now, those two things alone, you cannot rush. Okay, you have to wait for the process. And some things, while you're in this world experiencing, you have to wait and have patience for. So it's not gonna uh, just come overnight. And you might hear me keep saying that because when you recognize how impatient you get, you can get mad at someone for not changing. But if you're not trying to plant a seed in someone and you're saying, hey, I'm not going to wait for you. But then again, if you are, sometimes you could still be a little impatient about it. For instance, when little kids are trying to get trained to walk, talk, and to be trained to use the restroom, it could be frustrating because you expect them to just get it right and they don't get it overnight. So you still have to wait. Now, why are moms, or why would moms be impatient? We're talking about moms. Now, a quick discussion about it. Moms would be impatient because they want to see things go well with their children. And this is a true fact. You want to make sure that they're okay, that they know how to think, that they know how to do things and to survive. You want to make sure they know how to, um, do things even if they had to do it while they wasn't around. So it becomes that the parents become impatient. Another reason why parents become impatient is because they want to make sure that the children are safe. And the best way to know how to do that is to try to get them in the right environment, doing the right things, and having healthy and good relationships, knowing how to make those kind of decisions. Now, why moms need patience is because the kids need them. Why do moms need patience? The kids need them to have patience also. Yes, children have to do what the parent says, and that's all they know. Especially when they're first coming forth, they know how to listen. They do pretty good jobs listening. But if you notice a teenager or even a little, I say a toddler who's just wanting something, they get frustrated. So that makes the parent frustrated. Okay. Now, why should kids be patient, or should I say, why are they impatient? Okay, now children, to my belief and knowledge, are impatient because they don't want to wait. Isn't that something? They don't like to wait for things. Children don't like to wait. They want it right now. So then that makes them impatient. Another thing is that they don't like to suffer. They don't want to be in pain. They don't want to be overworked. They don't want to be overwhelmed. They don't want to be sad. So these things cause them to be impatient. If someone is working them too hard, maybe they need more practice because, like I said, things don't come overnight where they could just overwork themselves. And parents got to know the difference between the children because each child is different. And, for the children to feel what's fair and what's not, they need to kind of balance out that work that they're telling the children to do, regardless of age. All right. So, um, you heard the things about why the children are impatient. Now, this is another reason why they need to have patience, because if they don't, in some things they're going to be disciplined. So it's kind of like the parents and the children learning how to balance, but um, it's kind of different or difficult because you want to let the child know who's in charge, and they have to know. Okay, so they can, if they don't have patience during the times that they're supposed to, they'll be disciplined. Okay, I don't want to get into the disciplinary actions of the parents and what they're doing. So I want to move on to talk about babies. Why are babies impatient? Why don't they like to have patience? You know what? Babies, they don't have to have patience at all. Okay, so uh, they don't have to have patience. That's one thing about babies. You're in a good position being a baby because how many parents are supposed to fuss at the little bitty babies? You know, so they don't have to have patience. We have to have the patience as a parent or adult to handle children or babies, and even children, because uh, babies need and they can't do for themselves. Neither can children. And some adults can't even do for themselves. But they have a harder role to play as an adult. Okay? Some of you might think, why don't these adults have it together? Some of these adults don't know what to do, and it is what it is. So I don't really want to get into that talk. That could be another talk as to why. Um, and so going back and talking about the babies, when they need a diaper change, uh, when babies need a diaper change, you gotta do it. When babies don't have all of these things, you're the one need to be in check. You can get in trouble as an adult. And you say, how can I get in trouble as an adult? And that's understandable, but you see, babies when they're hungry, they depend on you, and they don't have to have patience. You're responsible for them. You have to look after them. And you stop and think when you have something in your care, you have to look after it. That's when you have to learn how to have patience. When you're taking responsibility for something or someone, you have to have patience in doing it. Although it doesn't come overnight, as I said, but you have to know in your mind, patience is where it's at. So I hope this talk isn't boring for you because I'm talking about it for a reason, and I it just made me think that yeah, this is something I want to talk about because as we notice when we go out in today's world, a lot of people don't have patience. Parents don't have patience. Children don't have patience. People in their occupations they don't have patience. Uh, so just people in general have to learn, and I want to see if I can come back and talk about this again. So what this will be is part one on the talk of patience, because this talk should be to me, I think, a little bit deeper. Um, patience, patience. I say, for me, as I won't be uh, judgmental about people who don't have patience, because I've had situations where I wasn't patient before. If you ever stand in a long line and you say, "Hey, I'm getting out of this line. It's taking too long." You've been standing in line for like 2 hours, and you're like, "Why is this line so long?" Think about where the patience goes then, and how do you compare that to the necessary need of being totally patient? Okay, so one more thing. Pets even have to be patient. Why do pets have to be patient? Because pets could be disciplined also. And um, they're basically your company, okay? So you want to kind of be nice to them too. So it's like with anything dealing with company, you have to learn how to have patience, because when you invite someone into your space or you allow them to come in and you are rude, then that's rude. So you basically need to practice patience on having that, or just don't do it at all. But we know that people like to have company. So I'll come back and want to talk about patience some more. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Drawn to Me.